Hey everybody, it's Mike Fahey with Kotaku, and I am playing Stories, The Path of Destinies. Now, this is a game that Evan played last week. I'm playing it here on PC. And he covered it pretty well. He reviewed it. He loved the game. So I picked it up, and I figured I'd just play through the main stories of the game. There are 4 main stories, and then kind of a finale thing where you uncover certain truths. There are 4 main truths to uncover, and then you get the final ending. And I figured I'd stop after that. As you can see, I have not stopped. There are a grand total of 24 stories. There might be something beyond that as well, I'm not sure. But every time I pick the game up, I sit down and I go through it again and again to get the next story. Let me just show you one here. Sky Rover's Guide to the Galaxy. Well, view stories, Mike. So let me view that story. And you have the choices made on the side. So the first is find the armature, then find the core, then meet the scientist, and then meet Calaveras. So those choices brought me to this story. Over here, meet scientist, meet the council. So I meet the council instead of Calaveras. Here, I attack the outpost instead. So what's left there? I mean, if I find the armature and find the core, meet the scientist. I guess I have an option after attacking the outpost. You know what? Let's just go ahead and find out. Because I can't pick up the game without playing through a story and getting at least one done. I'll edit this a bit so you don't have to go through the whole thing. But let's go ahead and continue my game.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
The one thing I wish the developer would add to this game would be the ability to skip these intros. Because when I'm sitting here going through each one and have to restart and go through this, I know these by heart by now.
It was a dangerous artifact.
It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster.
Maybe we could find
a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness.
And also,
yeah.
His old friend Lapino needed rescuing.
Now if you see that key there, that shows you how to get to the true ending, so we're not going to follow that at all. Don't want to spoil any of that for you.
That he needed to use that to his advantage.
So each time I got to go through that. Let's go ahead and I'll play through, find the temple. No, build the Sky Ripper.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper.
I can skip this though. You didn't need to see that. If you wanted to, you could really pause.
As he set foot on the island, Renato couldn't help feeling a bit curious.
So here we are at Chapter 1, a chapter I played through many times.
He was probably drinking champagne with the Raven.
Now what's cool about this is every time you start a new story, you have the same stats.
Renato felt
as the stats carry over, your weapons carry over.
Had he chosen the Sky Ripper?
The only problem is this workbench is pretty much useless now. I think I've gotten all the gems I can. My swords are all the highest level.
Just went with his gut and hoped it all worked.
I guess it's nice to know they're there.
The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself.
We're going to skip that text and just go straight through. Another thing that happens as you play through the game is you learn shortcuts and new things to do. Like, I didn't know I could kill those guys initially. The times I spent sneaking around those little guys the first couple times through. Dead and dead.
Good.
Another thing.
Dead.
Thank you. Another thing to realize is once you go through, once you get all the upgrades, the chests are pretty much useless.
Did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could destroy anything it touched. Or so the legend.
Here's my skills so far. I still have several to unlock.
As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the lost gods, thousands had died. But Renato had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one.
Look, it's not personal, but your mother wears army boots on her ears.
Oh, I hate when they hit me that last time. Wow, suddenly I have a bunch of achievements. I guess there was an update to the game. Wow. So it's really fast. Don't need to worry about those guys. These guys go in a pattern. Come back here. Where's the last one? Over here. Oh, missed one. Now, I fought these same battles dozens of times over at this point, and they never stop being entertaining. Puzzle. This should be tough.
Ha! The contraption wasn't even trying anymore.
Nope.
As if it knew it had met its match.
So here we are. There's the Sky Ripper.
There it was. Sky Ripper's armature.
We're about 7 minutes in, including loading times, and that initial load is a bit much. I'll edit out the loading times and just give you a brief run through the story.
Part of a weapon at all.
Let's skip this text here.
He'd have to ask a scientist, but first he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripper had a heart, a core that had come to rest on the next
island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions, so she must be encamped there still.
But fighting Zenobia now
makes no sense. Please let me. If they could just let me skip this text point. I mean, even if they wanted to do it, say, after 5 plays. But I've listened to these a lot. So our choice here, we want to go to Armature. And if you want, you can check View Stories to see what you've done before. But right now, gonna need the Armature, and we're gonna skip that. We've sacrificed his friend Lupino from the first mission. Lupino's a piece of work, though. I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
He looked up at the old trees around him.
Mm-hmm.
They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he'd passed into legend.
Now I've updated my stamina to the point where I can dash a whole lot more. Helps me get through faster.
He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares?
And shortcuts pop up, so you don't have to go through the whole thing.
He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it. There was something sour in the air.
Sour in the
earth
air.
had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Now I also have a skill that when I hit 20 kills, everything's an automatic kill. Unless one guy hits you and kills your combo.
There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before?
Should be one more battle before I take the...
birds, except for the feverish
before I go down to the core.
He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be.
Oh. So there's a perfect right there. And we're at the core.
The 20-sided core made him feel...
So it's now 10 minutes in with the initial description I gave, which was probably a couple minutes.
He hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now
I've tried the scientist part twice. The outpost, I've only tried once.
Some sort of super weapon.
So we're going to kill the outpost and then choose the path less taken. Or not taken yet.
Before the final battle. But maybe he should
show some scientist first. There's an observatory in the Nexus.
Maybe
Maybe he should go there before he fired it. Known it by heart.
Renato had never been much of a student. At sword food.
Zenobia is my cat girlfriend. Or sometimes. Not that I need a cat girlfriend. I've got a wife. She's like a cat girlfriend. Only she doesn't poop in a box. Thank you for listening. Okay.
As he set out down the path, Renato wondered why the parts of the Sky Ripper had only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim the Third, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Sky Ripper would reappear to be
Thanks for the battle.
And hopefully this time, just
his destruction. Don't need that chest. Chests, again, are pretty much useless.
Impatient.
Really? Thank you. Done.
He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon.
Here's a little
He turned the
cutscene.
knob on the Sky Ripper. It made strange mechanical noises. The wheels spun faster. It began to hum.
The Sky Ripper was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But
Now
there was
you'll
no trigger.
you'll note that the Sky Ripper has been following me since the beginning. Once you get past a certain point, the Sky Ripper just shows up whenever you play the game,
Well, maybe it just needed
along with
to
a
warm up.
glowing aura of power as
It
well.
hadn't been fired in thousands of years.
I'm missing. I lost my combo because I killed too fast. Okay, they're all dead. And here we are at the end of this. 13 minutes with loading time and text and all that.
No longer see them.
Renato had a thought. Please? He asked.
Yeah, sure.
We blow up the outpost. Now we should have one final choice.
Don't trust me. Go see Calaveras. That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time?
Why?
Oh, it was infuriating.
Of course she would say that.
So there we have that yellow exclamation point.
To the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right?
Damn it.
Now, a quick peek at stories, and we will see that the options we have used, we have met the scientist, we did twice. We have attacked the outpost and then met Calaveras. So what we have left, as indicated over here, is to take the Sky Ripper to the rebels. So we will see what will happen here.
Let Zenobia get into his head with her logic and her wisdom and her appeals to reason.
I love Zenobia. I'm kind of sad that I didn't pick a story with her in it more. But here we go. We are 15 minutes in, and I will cut some of this out for, again, loading. But the story goes really fast once you're in the rhythm.
Imperials were flapping and cawing all around the ruins. They must be panicking with rumors flying of the superweapon. Maybe they hoped to find and destroy the base before he could put the Sky Ripper into action. The Sky Ripper was whining and heating.
Gotta be careful with those guys, they explode.
Use that energy soon.
Once you get into a combo where you're automatically killing things, those are the worst. Because you will kill them with one hit.
People thought of them as fussy
And they will explode immediately. And ruin your combo.
Thought of their books as sacred, and themselves as priests in a temple of knowledge. Who knew they were willing to die to protect it?
And again, I shouldn't be so excited about playing a game that I've played through so much that I know it by heart. I just froze time, by the way, kids. Don't try that at home.
Never had a super weapon before. He'd single-handedly taken down an Imperial base. He felt good. He'd resisted all the distractions that were thrown in his path. He couldn't wait to attack the enemy fleet.
Any more? Oh. I missed one.
What was Zenobia talking about? This was a fantastic
Uh-oh.
weapon. Ravens burst into flames with just a touch of its killer beam. Yeah, he was tempted to leave it on all the time, but he didn't want to.
Where's the, oh, that's right, it's in here.
Council Toad's head or tongue. Yeah, she'd been trying to distract him. Well, this time, no one was going to distract him.
Uh-oh.
These things could really use a hand.
Oh no, I took the damage. Now, if I wanted to heal, I could change my swords and use the healing power for this one.
The long stairs. So
But it's kind of irrelevant at this point.
Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Time stands still. Now we're auto-killing. And the doors will open. We are 17 minutes in. This is the fourth stage of the story. The final stage will be coming up after this cutscene.
As he headed towards the council chamber, Renato felt everyone watching him.
Now I'm going to watch this cutscene because I haven't done it yet.
Rebellion, said the council speaker. Frankly, we were afraid you'd turn aside to save that idiot Lapino.
Not bloody lightly,
Screw Lapino.
Renato told them, feeling he was maybe being a bit harsh on the poor mad rabbit.
If you never make sacrifices, he said, you're probably not doing the right thing. The speaker nodded. Are you ready to lead the charge? Let's roll.
I think this is the first time the council's been really behind me throughout this whole thing, so I've played through the game 9 or 10 times, maybe 12?
Humming now, as if it had taken some time to seat properly. He had always been irresponsible. This time, he'd done the right thing, made the hard decisions. He was a real hero. He hadn't let himself be distracted by old friends or...
I'm kind of pleased by this outcome. Now I have a feeling I know how it's going to end, though.
He could be proud of himself.
The Sky Ripper is not a pleasant weapon. So here we are, the final section. I'd say spoilers, but really you see this over and over again, so I wouldn't say spoilers. Loading, loading, loading. And then this should be really fast.
So was Sky Ripper. The Sky Ripper had a will of its own. It picked out its own targets and set them on fire.
This was going to be a short battle. He would set the ships on fire if he didn't need them to get to the Emperor. And he wondered if he'd see Zenobia, or if she'd flee.
This is it. I'm so excited that I'm about to unlock a new ending.
An all-conquering hero.
And this is how addictive this is. I would not be surprised if after this video is done, and it's like 1 something in the morning right now, don't need the chest, that I play 2-3 more times. Which is a really bad idea considering the weekends are hectic for me. But that's the power of this game. I don't know what I just hooked onto. Worked for me though. So now show us.
Parchment on a signpost.
Oh, this is new.
It was from her.
Every time you fire, you risk the destruction of the universe. That's insane. We surrender.
What?
He'd done it. He'd played chicken with Zenobia and won.
Really?
Hear the horns blaring the retreat. She was wiser than he was, that was for sure. But wisdom didn't win battles.
That doesn't seem right.
Hey, did you guys ever learn to swing dance? Oh, well,
If they're retreating, why am I fighting? So if that's the case, there should be 2 more fights. One here. In our 20s, everything dies.
Renato wondered if
Level
he'd
up.
learn to cook this way. Probably not.
And this should take me to the ship where I either teleport or ride another thing up. I'm riding another thing up. Either ride a thing up here or on the other side you arc over to the base. You can see it in the background as we go up. Here we are, 22 minutes in, about to finish the game. And that should be the final battle. There they are.
And there was Zenobia, wearing the white robes of surrender. She came and kneeled before him. Why didn't you listen to me? I was trying to save you too. You're the enemy, you said. I was never your enemy, Renato.
Aww.
And he realized, not for the
First
first
time.
how much
She loved him.
Then she spoke a terrible word and made a gesture with her hand. She stopped moving, covered in frost, and he wondered why she'd frozen herself. Then the Sky Ripper froze, and then, for a moment, he felt very cold
No.
and discovered that he couldn't move.
She's so
The next
crafty.
thing he knew, the sun was a giant, monstrously red. It took up half the sky, and he was in a parched red desert. And then he was on fire.
And that is another ending unlocked here. Should be the final ending in this list. I think? No. Surprised me. The weird thing is I get these fire essences as a reward, and I can't use them anymore unless something unlocks later. Renardo Nukem. So, find the armature, find the core, attack the outpost, meet the council. So I still have more to unlock as we go. That is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Is it 12? Yeah, it's 12. So I have 12 out of 24. I'm halfway there living on a prayer, and I'm going to play at least 2 more times before this night's over. So that's stories. See if we can quit the main menu here. Confirm. Plenty more to play through after you play through those initial 4. Brilliantly put together game. Stories, The Path of Destinies, available on Steam, PS4. I'm going to play some more when I should be editing this video and uploading it. Thanks for watching, everybody.